Like when I forget how to function.
Oh, your accent's so cool. It's so much better than mine. I love
No,
it. I've never been to Scott. Here we go. I'm going to try it. You ready? Scotland. No, I can't. I can't
no,
do it. I can't.
don't do it.
Every time I hear like a cool accent, I give it a go. I'm so naff. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of When Nerds Do Fitness with my fantastic geek of a guest, Jordyn. Is it Coyle? Is it
Oil,
Coyle?
yeah.
Coyle. There you go. Wicked. Good. Nailed that, didn't I? I did pretty well
Yep.
there. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do. Yeah, go for it, and then we'll get into like bodybuilding bits and all the nerdy crap.
Yep. So I'm Jordyn. My job is in fitness. I basically have three jobs in the fitness industry. So I'm employed full time through Sky, like the TV place. But I work on their sites and their on-site gyms for their staff. And I do like PT sessions and classes for their staff and things like that, and just kind of supervise the gyms. Then out with that, I'm a self-employed personal trainer at a local gym to me, Pro Life, which is an amazing gym. Won Gym of the Year again.
I
So
did
I
it.
take my
That's
own
good.
clients in
It's
there.
because you're there.
Yeah,
That's why.
it's because I'm there, obviously.
Yeah.
So I have my own clients in there, and I've kind of started branching out into the online coaching thing. But again, I've only took on a limited amount of clients on that, maybe people that I have worked with in the past and things that I've kind of wanted to move on to that, which I have really been enjoying. But I've not wanted to take too many people on it yet, because I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. I don't want to be like, take all these people on and then I can't give them the kind of service I want to do. So basically, I am in a gym for about 14 hours a day, every day.
Yeah. And this is what I kind of wanted you on here, because that was me. Like, I don't know, where are we now? End of 21, midway through 2020. I was kind of where you're at, and when the dreaded C hit, I thought, what do I do? So I moved away from Pit where the gyms were closed. So did you ever do, I don't know if you're the same as me, I ran PT through my phone, like video call.
I was actually just in the middle of doing my course still when the
Okay.
dreaded C bomb hit. So it was kind of like,
so you're kind of
if I've
fresh
just done it, I
into
probably
it as a
could have.
PT then?
What's
Kind
that?
of. You're kind of like fresh into being a PT
Yeah,
with it. Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
That's
So I'd
wicked.
always kind of been into it, and I'd been saying for years, like, I think I want to do this. But again, like, I was coming up for 30 and I was like, do you really just change career? And like, I was kind of nervous because I was in a job that I did enjoy and stuff like that, but it just wasn't, I didn't wake up every day and think this is what I want to do. So I thought, you know what, screw it, I'll leave that job, I'll go and get a job back in hospitality again and start doing my PT course. And then the world said, ha, no, you're not. You can't do any of these things. You will have no money and nothing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I continued still to study like through lockdown and things like that. And then when things managed to kind of peak, I went in and got my first exam done. Then it was lockdown again. Then I went and got my other exam done.
Yeah.
But in that time, I'd started taking on a couple of people that I knew and doing kind of like, I'd done Zoom workouts and things like that.
Yeah.
Which were hard. I'm not a cardio person.
Yeah.
And when you're taking a Zoom workout, it's different when you're in a class and you can walk around and help everyone.
Yeah.
But when you're doing the Zoom workout, you need to be going for it. You need to be like, this is the harder option. This is what you should be doing. So you need to do it. Like, see, as soon as that camera went off, I was like, too lying on the floor. Like,
yeah, honestly, when it starts, so in England anyway, it was about March time of 2020 when the gym shut. And we as PTs in the gym, and I was within a year of moving out of a big full 24-hour gym into a smaller unit. And I was thinking, me and the PTs in that gym were like, how do we still provide the same service? How are we going to do this, but through a phone? So we did it through like WhatsApp calls and Zoom calls. And I was sat on the sofa while clients were training in their living room with bands, and I was getting them with rucksacks to put gravel from their garden inside their rucksack to do squats and presses. And they did so phenomenally well. They did so well. And I kept it up for a good, I'd say 8 to 10 weeks. And at that point, I was thinking, this is just naff. There's going to have to be a way or a different avenue or a different path I can take to provide a better service than that, to provide a better service for them, get them more results, allow me to grow my business take on more people. And that's how I then moved into coaching people remotely, or what people call nowadays online coaches, or whatever that would be. I don't really, are you the same, where I don't like being put into like a group of people? Like, I don't really like to be called an online coach because there are so many bell ends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that like, I don't want to be, just call me Matt. Just call me Matt, and he helps you. Just call me that.
That helps you, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be like labeled that. But you're fresh into the industry, and I remember that you've just brought up did you have that one moment where you said to yourself, you know, when you were in kind of like your normal job and you wanted to pursue the career in the fitness industry, did you have like a moment? Because I remember I genuinely had, it was like a scene from a movie. I don't think I've told anyone this.
Like an epiphany?
Yeah. So I was putting on my tie. I was working in the motor trade at the time. So I was putting on my tie just at the front door in the mirror. And my mum came, I was about 22. My mum came and she was like, oh, you look really, this was my second day at Vauxhall. So I moved around within the motor trade. I worked at Ferrari for a little bit, Maserati, Jaguar, Peugeot, and then I went to Vauxhall. So I was in the motor trade, dotting around, putting on my tie for the second day at Vauxhall. And she said, oh, you look really handsome, or you look really good, whatever mums say to their kids. Okay. And I said to myself, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and it was just like a big light bulb just like went off in my head. And I just said, this isn't me anymore. That was genuinely what happened. And that very day, went up to the college, the local college,
Trying to hold in a cough for so long there.
and signed up right there and then.
I think it was just something like, for me, I'd been saying it for years, and like a PT that I'd actually had at the time, well, they weren't actually my PT, but they just kind of helped me out in the gym when I was there, because I kind of knew what I was doing. But they were like, you're doing good, I can help you do better. It didn't pay them. It was great. And I always used to say to them, I'd love to do this. And they're like, why don't you? And I was like, well, I'd need to go and pay for the course. I'd need to leave the job that I'm in. Like, I had a kind of flat and stuff at the time. I was like, I don't know if I can risk it. I'm getting old, you know, not getting old. Like, you know, it's mad that I actually thought that at like 28 or whatever.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And then I think it was, again, I was just one day in work and I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like, and then I thought to myself, I can keep doing this job and be comfortable till when, or you can take that risk, maybe be a little uncomfortable for a period of time. And then, do you know what I mean? At 30, I've still got, you know, maybe 30 years of working before I retire, or the way the world is going, I'll never be allowed to retire.
Or you could do, or you'll do that well, you'll retire in about 10 years.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to do it. It might be a risk. It might be this, but if you never try, you're never going to know.
Yeah.
And I just thought, yeah, let's do it. And then obviously the world went to pot, but kind of, although it could have been a lot worse, I made the best out of it. So rather than going, oh no, it's this, it's that, I still continued to do my course. I even went, like during lockdown, went and got a job in a cardboard box factory. So I knew I was getting enough money in. Because obviously factories and stuff were still open. I think I was the only person there that spoke English, and I had to sit on a production line, like putting cardboard together, because I was like, I'm not just going to sit about and do nothing and be like, woe is me, and cry about it. Like, I'm going to get to work every day. I'm going to come back. I'm going to study for my course. I'm going to do what I need to do and make this work. And then, you know, a year later, I've managed to have like an actual permanent job in the fitness industry, like corporate fitness, be self-employed, and I've bought my own house.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's because you're Scottish, you're just hardcore and you work really hard, or it's just you, because that's wicked. Do you realise what you just said?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like, that's, a lot of people will go, oh, COVID this, oh, I can't do that. And that's just in you. You're just wired that way, which is incredible. And you mimic a lot of me as well, because when I was in the motor trade and I had that moment in my life, and I thought, right, I've got to change. I remember for months, people would say to me, when you're in the motor trade, you'll never leave the motor trade. You're in it now, you'll never leave. No one leaves the motor trade when you're in it. You'll just dot around. You'll go to be a mechanic, or you'll go into sales, or you go to after sales, you'll go on the reception desk, you'll go into management. I was like, no, I'm going to prove, I'm one of those little kids that wants to prove them wrong. So I'm the youngest in the office, and they're all in their 40s, they're in their 50s. And I'm this 22-year-old kid going, jog on, I'm going to go. So I did. But almost like you, how I kind of wanted that net, that safety net behind me. And it's very difficult because I personally believe, and everyone has their own their own beliefs. I believe you've got to put all your eggs, just jump for it, just go for it, just do it, because you can put your all into it. And if you don't have a plan B, you will put all of your effort into plan A. Just don't even think about that little safety net where you've got something. But I do understand when you've got bills to pay, when you've got kids to feed, when you've got things to save up for, whatever it might be, you kind of need that safety net. And I kind of had that without thinking about it. I was an assistant manager, so I had the two. So I opened up a Snap. Do you know, have you heard of Snap Fitness?
Yeah,
Brand of
I think there's one in
gyms.
Glasgow,
Okay.
or there used to be.
Yeah. So I opened up a Snap Fitness and was assistant manager for like part-time. And then I was a PT part-time. And it got to a point where I was really busy with both. And I thought to myself, right, am I going to be a monkey behind the screen selling memberships? Or am I going to be doing what I wanted to do and help individuals come in the gym? So I was like, I had to juggle it. I was like, and this one's a risk because I don't get paid like the same money every week. I'm like, stuff it, boom, go for it. And I did. And I believe that you've just got to, it's so very difficult to take risks, isn't it? It is hard. It is a toughie.
It is, but sometimes then you do it and you think, okay, that didn't work. But a lot of time when you do it and it does work, you're like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Mm-hmm.
Like I say things like, see, like especially with bodybuilding and stuff like that as well. I used to kind of say for years, people in the gym, like, I'd love to do that. I remember years ago, this must have been, honestly, I must have been about 21 when the documentary about Jodie Marsh doing it came out.
Oh, yeah.
I remember everyone being like, ew. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And everybody was like, nah. And I mean, like, I'm 30 now, right? I'm nearly 31. So this must have been a good while ago. And I was like, that's cool. And I always remember for years just being inspired by people. And it's funny, the supplement shop that sponsors me now, the girl Antonia was one of my first PTs. And I went to her because she was the first kind of girl in this kind of area that I'm in that done kind of bodybuilding. And I was like, that's cool. She's a machine. I'm going to do that one day. And it's funny, she said, it's weird how it's went full circle, like you've actually eventually done it. Fair play, it was years later, but I just wish, you know, you see all these girls and that doing it now and they're like juniors, like they're like 21 and they're doing it. And I'm like, maybe I should have done that. But then you can say that about everything. I should have done that then. I should have done that then. Well, you didn't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I look back and think, damn it, I wish I'd sorted my training out and started jumping into about like 22, 23. Why didn't I do that?
The reason maybe you didn't is now you're in a position to do it and do it right. Like when I've decided to do it, you know, I didn't do half measures. I went for it and I done it and I done pretty well. Maybe if I'd done it then, it might have not been as good. It might have put me off and I might have stopped. So I think, yeah, you maybe wait and things happen at the right time.
Yeah. And as another example, I'm glad I didn't, because I was working in the motor trade or had, for me, a job I didn't like. So I can now compare. If I'm having a bad day being a trainer, a coach, I can look back and go, no, I'm having a superb day. That was terrible. I have something to compare. Like yourself, I'm not saying your cardboard box factory was a crappy job, but that might not have, okay, but that might not
that was
have
just
been
a lockdown that
yeah
didn't get me money.
but now you can look back. Let's say if you have a rubbish day tomorrow, you can go, hang on a minute, I'm having a phenomenal time. That was rubbish. So but do you know what I mean? I'm glad that I didn't, jump out of school, go to college and do a sports degree immediately. I'm glad I didn't do that, because I know what working life looks like in an office behind a screen with fake LED smacking me in the face, with 40, 50-year-old men moaning about their life and everything is against them. I'm looking going, all right, so yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, I think it's good, like having kind of life experience, and fair play to the people that know exactly what they want to do from when they're 15 or whatever, and they continue to go and do that. But jobs that I had before, so my main job that I had for about 6 years, I was an employability advisor with Enable Scotland. So my job was to go around to different schools, like mainstream schools and additional support needs schools, and I had like a kind of base of clients in each school who maybe had learning disabilities or autism or things that maybe prevented them from just doing the norm, let's say, in school. They maybe struggled with things. So I went in and helped them and done like work experience placement courses with them and got them out to get real kind of life experience rather than sitting in a class where they're thinking, this is not for me. And I actually loved it. It was really rewarding and stuff as well. And I learned a lot of my kind of communication skills, I guess, through that, like how to work with different people. And over the 5 years, I worked in job centres and just worked with so many different people with different barriers to work and helped them get into work and found out things that they like. And funny story, one of my clients that I used to work with in the job centre and help her is now one of my PT clients.
There you go. How good's that?
So
That's
she comes
wicked.
along, and I think because she kind of has that trust with me and whatever, and knows me, and it's just been great to kind of see her journey.
Yeah, there were moments as in my PT, my personal training career, where I'd help people with learning difficulties or just disabilities that, you know, that would otherwise restrict them from going into the gym by themselves. They would come in with a helper or a mentor or someone that would, you know, a carer. And I remember helping a young girl who had Down syndrome. And it was so rewarding. It was just once a week on a Thursday morning. She would come in for half an hour to 45 minutes. And it would just be a very ad hoc sort of session. It wouldn't be, I would never plan it ever. I'd never plan the session because I don't think that was the route thing we needed to do. She just wanted, or the carer brought her in. She would just, it was her highlight of her week, just to come in and jump on those little plyo boxes that you can Velcro together and try and get as high as you can, or get a slam ball and just toss it and throw it against the wall. Or I get my big belly pad out, my big boxing pad, hold some 2 pads as well. And she would just batter me. She would just punch me to bits. And I used to,
that would be a great Thursday.
Oh, it's so good. To punch me in the face was incredible for my clients. But it was just, and it was good for you because you were able to see how far you can push different types of people. And you learned that at a very young age, ready to go into the world of pushing people and pushing people's buttons, because that's what being a coach and a PT is about. It's almost, for those that are listening that don't understand or aren't very clued up in terms of training people and coaching people, you really need to understand that person, because everyone is so different. If I'm talking to a female, I need to talk to them slightly different than I am to a man, in a way. Maybe words, maybe the tone of my voice, maybe things that I ask of them. And you learn that at a very young age, which is wicked. And that's how I learned in sales, because I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to this, that, and that. I'm glad that I did that before jumping in.
Definitely as well, because I've got clients, some of them want you to be a bitch, right? They want them to say, right, do you know what, you've been shit this week. Actually, you need to do this, get your finger out. Whereas there's some clients, if I turned around and said that to them, they'd be like, excuse me.
Have you ever done it? Have you ever done it?
So,
have you ever done it?
What?
Have you ever made a mistake and talked to them like a bitch, and then it's made them cry? I've done that.
Not really, but there's some clients I think I maybe probably could be a bit harder with them, but there's that kind of border. I'm like, I can go one way or the other. You don't want to end up pushing them over the edge, but there's some that they want, like, see, for me, for example, when I'm getting coached, I don't want a coach to sit and rub my ego and tell me I'm amazing. See, if I've been shit that week, tell me I've been shit, because then my brain goes, I'm going to prove to you that I'm not. I'm going to do better. So if someone keeps telling me I'm awesome, I'm just going to sit back and be like, cool, yeah, I know. But if someone's like, oh, actually, such and such did this and you didn't, I'll be like, well, did they? Yeah. Let's see what I can do.
That's a good tactic, actually. If you ever have couples as clients, if you ever take on a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, that's a really good game to play. That's what I've done before. So I've said to them, if I'm coaching them separately, I've said, you do know Bill managed that, didn't you? And she hated it. And I'll say, you do know your wife ran like an extra half mile compared to what you did, quicker than you. Can you hurry up, mate? And he would be like, what? A woman did that, or my wife did that. So he would try and beat, and that's a good little tactic to do if you've got couples.
Yeah, but when it's the husband comes in on the Wednesday night and then the wife comes in on the Thursday morning. Yeah. So we're always going to have that. And she's like, but he'll say, oh, I ended up doing this exercise. It was horrible. And she'll come in, I don't want to do what you did. She said it was horrible.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, for damn sure. So what are so we talk about bodybuilding. Let's sort of delve into that. So I know you a little bit, and we've had a little bit to chat here and there. So in terms of your accomplishments this year, was 2021 the first year that you competed on a bodybuilding stage?
Yeah, so that was the first time I'd ever even done like a proper cut with my prep. Like, I'd obviously dieted and things before and tried to kind of bulk, but never really done it properly. But obviously I'd been training for years, and eventually in lockdown, kind of got to a point where I was like, I'm not happy with myself. It's not like me to be like this. I need a challenge, and there's no better time than now. So I reached out to Erin Thompson to online coach me, because obviously I don't need like a one-to-one PT. I just need someone to be accountable to and to tell me, right, do this, do that. So I started working with her kind of in the summer, kind of getting my calories up and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to compete. I want to do that. First timer show was meant to be in the March or the April.
Yeah.
But then it kept obviously getting postponed. So I had the world's longest prep, is what I feel like.
Well, how long was
but I
it
was
in
determined.
total?
I think I ended up prepping for like 36 weeks.
Oh my God, woman, how'd you do
The
that?
calories did go back up. Like they didn't
Oh, okay.
obviously
So
continue to go
you came
down.
up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So when kind of shows got postponed and moved, we kind of brought them back up to a kind of baseline and hovered about in prep limbo for a wee while.
Yeah.
Before we cut back in. But it sounds mad, but like I loved it. I was genuinely scared. I was like, oh, prep. So many people like bitch and moan and say it's this horrible thing. But I think like see the way my brain works, it's a bit, I don't know. I don't have a normal brain, I'll say, right?
You could be the same as me here though.
Yeah. So it's very like, so if everything's not planned out, my life can be a bit chaotic. But prep was literally, you wake up at this time, you do this, you do that.
Yeah.
My days ran smoother than they've ever ran
Did
in my life.
you find you were really productive when you were on prep?
So productive.
Like jobs, knock them dead.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because everything was like scheduled in. My brain loves a schedule. It also loves knowing that there is like a timeline. So I think before, if I've been trying to go on like a holiday and I think cut for a holiday, whatever, like you've kind of got a timeline, but you don't have a specific way you need to look. It's lax. Whereas my brain was like, you're going to be standing on a stage in a little thong next to people. You're not going to look stupid. You're not going to go on that stage looking like, did she just walk off the beach? Like, so I was determined. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it properly. Like, the competitive kind of edge kicks in.
Yeah, it was
like every day ticking boxes. Like I was like, I love this.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the holiday, because I've done many holiday diets to look a certain way, and you could always have in the back of your mind, you could always say, well, I'm going with my girlfriend, she loves me anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm going to eat when I'm there.
Yeah, I've got an all-inclusive, so I can just, as long as I take a couple pictures on the first couple of days when I carb up and I've got lots of salt and cocktails in me, I'll look great, good for the gram, and then I'll just let it go. Whereas for a competition or a photo shoot, I am standing around strangers, being judged subjectively by strangers, with a crowd of strangers watching me in my tiny pants. I do not want to look shit or out of place. And that was the main driver for me.
Yeah, because I remember saying to Erin as well, like, if I don't look a certain way, I'm not doing it. I'm not being one of those people. And I know there's people in the past and it's probably been good for them, but they've went on stage and I said, I'm not being that person. I'd rather just not do it.
Yeah.
So having that in my mind, I was like, going to do it.
It was difficult for me because I wasn't sure what I should have looked like, how I was supposed to have looked like. I've never had veins in my legs at that point. I didn't even for the first show. So I competed in June, and that was you did the same show as me.
Too.
Hey, we did in Birmingham, the town hall.
Yeah.
It looked like you're a Disney fan, right? Okay, good, thank God. Because I'd kick you off immediately. No. Do you remember the scene on Hercules? Have you seen Hercules, the cartoon? Remember when he like walks up to the Colosseum?
Yeah.
To go see Zeus, his dad. That's basically the town hall. Isn't it?
Like it's quite a grand venue.
Yeah, that's how I felt. On one of my vlogs, I was like, I actually feel like Herc walking up to go see Daddy.
But it's funny as well because you're walking up and there are all these like bronzed men just all standing outside because it was like summer and it was a nice day, and
that's it. It was
so surreal.
Yeah, it was very, very surreal. Like the whole environment was just strange. I was tanned. I felt very like, you know how it feels when you're super lean, all your clothes are just hanging off of you. You've shaved your entire body. So for me as a man, obviously I'm not actually naturally very hairy, but I've got hair everywhere, right? So and as a guy, I don't shave my body all the time like ladies do typically. So the clothes felt weird on my skin, and I was all tanned up, and my mouth was dry as the Sahara Desert because I wasn't supposed to drink any water, just like little sips. Oh my God,
that was the worst. And we weren't on until my category was not on until so late, and I was genuinely just like,
yeah.
It was funny though, see with the tan on. So my mum and dad came down to see the show, and I look back and I've got a picture of before I got my tan done and after the two coats, right? I felt odd. Like when I was walking back down to my apartment, I could see people looking at me and I was like, I'm going to get arrested because they're going to think I'm like doing blackface or something. It was that dark. But they put the top coat on my face as well. It was honestly so dark. And I was like, I feel kind of uncomfortable like this. If people don't know why I'm this tanned, they're going to be like, right, that's inappropriate. Why are you doing that? Like I genuinely felt nervous walking through Birmingham with the darkest tan I've ever had on in my life. And then I said to my mum and dad, I'm standing on the big steps. They're obviously looking around like, where? I was like, I'm on the big steps. And then I saw my mum and I started waving at her and she just went, oh my God. She was like, how was I supposed to know that was you? And I was like, oh yeah, I was not the same colour as when I left.
Yeah.
But it's mad, like, see what you were saying about being lean and whatever. I actually remember saying to Erin before first timers, I don't think I'm lean enough.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I was originally only meant to be in bikini toned, like just bikini open. And I was like, don't think I'm lean enough. Like, oh, I should have done this. And she was like, no, you definitely are. And then walked on stage, turned around for the back shot. And they were like, number, whatever, you're actually getting moved to bikini trained. I was like, oh crap. Oh
That's
crap,
you.
oh crap. Yeah.
Oh crap. So hang on then. So you went on stage jumping into the category of what?
Well, just bikini.
So that's what you've
Yeah.
that's what you've been in your head. I look like this. This is the category I'm going to compete in. Bikini. You jump on the stage. Yeah. You're standing in line. You twist around.
We've already done our quarter turns. I'm nervous, right? So we're doing whatever. So you're already super nervous going on stage.
You're shitting
like,
your pants.
I was genuinely vibrating so much.
Yes.
And then we'd done like our first kind of round of quarter turns, and then the judges said we're going to make a couple of changes, and it was me and two other girls. Got told no, we're not bikini. We're actually getting moved to bikini train, so we need to go back off stage, wait another hour or so. So I was freaking out because I was like,
yeah,
like I'd already sort of prepped for to be on stage at that time, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like phoning Erin, and she's like, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, you've got this. So I went backstage, and I was nearly crying, but I was trying not to cry. And again, I don't know why I was nearly crying. I was just panicking, like, I'm not ready for this. Yeah. This is not what I'm doing. So I just went backstage and like lay on the floor, like catatonic mode. I was like genuinely just lying like a starfish. And Erin was like, it's fine. My category now was I still going to be another hour later. And I was just in the point where I was like, I just want my dinner.
I know. It's like the reason why is because you've done so many things, nailing it to this one pinpointed time. And then, so it's going to, right, here it is. And then they go, yeah, you're going to go off. You're going to do something different.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
But to be fair, originally my goal was always to eventually do bikini trained, but I just thought for my first show, we'll probably try and go for bikini because bringing that level of condition, we don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, smashed it, still got second. And it was actually like Dan Welburn was one of the judges, and he told me like there was genuinely 1 point in it between me and Faye who got first, and they were really, really struggling. And I was like, wicked. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
then obviously,
so for the people that are listening, then what's the difference? I don't know. Okay, so this is why I love getting you guys on here because I don't know shit. I know that a little bit, but I'm basically a dunce. So what's the difference between bikini and bikini trained?
Bikini trained is a leaner, harder, kind of more vascular look, whereas obviously bikini is still obviously a level of leanness, you know, nice kind of width on the shoulders, small waist, good glutes, but it's not as, you know, striated and hard.
So it's more of like a smoother, nice beach body look.
Yeah, but still obviously relatively lean, but they don't want you to have super cat shoulders or be super vascular or have a lot of separation in your legs.
So to you, that must have felt amazing.
Yeah, I actually already felt like, yes, they think I'm too muscular.
I would have loved that. I've heard this happen so many times with people, especially ladies, or you might get moved up, you might get, or you know, you might get moved around. I would, if I stepped on a stage and I hit my front shot like this, I'm standing next to these lads and someone goes, let's say I'm 22, at number 22, you're going to be moved up to the bigger class. I'd be like, yeah, boy.
Yeah, so as much as I was nervous, part of me was like,
yeah,
definitely. I'm too muscular.
Too right.
Yeah, because I think bikini trained is just a harder, kind of bigger look. And it's what I kind of get sad about is I absolutely love that look, but see, that doesn't exist in IFBB. So if I wanted to go and do a Two Bros show, I would be doing bikini. However, Two Bros bikini is quite lean anyway, but then it's so hard in these categories because the look for bikini that different federations want is so different. Like I've seen some girls do really well in bikini and they probably look more like bikini trained, but then another year later, people are getting marked down because they looked like that girl that done well in bikini, but now that's not what they're looking for. I think it's the problem with a lot of the bikini classes is it's very subjective to what they decide is the look at the time. Whereas open bodybuilding, for example, you know, there's a category for that. They know exactly what they're looking for. Yeah. Whereas with bikini, it kind of chops and changes.
Yeah. What, depending on the previous winner, they then compare it to that
always
person.
Like even I think like the Americans and Europeans have a kind of different look. So when you see the American IFBB bikini girls, they are jacked. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they have nice big cat shoulders, tiny waist, whatever. But then I found like last year, a lot of like the IFBB style, they didn't want it to look as hard as that. And like, so Isa Piccini, like a couple of years back, she got marked down for being too muscular for
Right.
the Olympia or whatever, and didn't place that year. And I thought, it's weird. I
Imagine
like
being
that look. I
imagine
want to
being
be a
marked down.
muscular
Yeah.
bikini girl.
Imagine being marked down for having too much muscle.
Yeah.
What a life. I'd love that.
I think,
That's
yeah,
never going to happen for me.
yeah. I think bikini is quite hard as well, because I think some people are just naturally suited to it. Like, see, depending genetically how you look, like your genetics are going to suit that category to a T, or they're not.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of in that border of, I do suit bikini, but I come in conditioned and I do have a bit more muscle, but I'm also that way where I'm definitely not big enough or muscular enough to go to figure. So I'm kind of like, I just want to stick with trained bikini. If that could just exist in every single fed, that would be lovely. It's kind of like an in-between of bikini and figure. So you're bringing that kind of
sometimes
hard.
it kind of looks like, no offense to anybody that competes in just bikini, because I'm not meaning any offense, but it kind of looks like they train for 6 months, diet for 4, and then they can jump into a bikini show.
I think it just depends on some people's body types. Like, some people obviously diet super, super hard and they look amazing. Like, so for example, Mercedes never placed at one show and she looked phenomenal. I mean, like her muscularity and things like that. But the girl that did place was just thin. She still looked great and she'd obviously done a great job, but it just depends what they were looking for at the day. So I remember Mercedes saying, I don't know where I fit in.
Yeah.
Like, what category should I be in? And she was the same again. One of her shows, she got moved into like a shape category, which is similar to like a wellness category. And it's like, people were just all getting moved about here and there. It's like, what am I?
Yeah. I'm actually going to be getting in very soon as well. You know, FitX. I'm going to get the head judges. I think they're the head judges, Mark and Lisa. You heard of those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Wales. Going to get them on the podcast, and I want to talk to them about how they judge. Like, what do they look for in criteria wise, which would be quite useful to see, and why. That'll be one of the questions I'll ask them. So what would be the defining moment for you to go, no, you're in the next one? You know what I mean? Because you must look so much more far superior. If you're looking at 6 women on a stage, you must look really out of place in a good way for them to go, I'm going to take you and put you there. You must look. Do you know what I mean? And what a great feeling that would be.
Like, when I'd done it at First Timers, it was the back shot, because my back was bigger and way more lean. Like, my back was literally inside out before the rest of my body. Like, I had like back veins at like 6 weeks out. I just don't hold fat there, but I'd like training back a lot, and I have done it a lot. But that's what they said. My brother said when he was watching it on the live stream, it was me and the girl Faye that did end up winning bikini trained. We both got moved, and he said at the same time, he went, the both of them, their backs, they're going to win this. And then when they said, oh no, they're getting moved, he was like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. So let's go back to that moment that you saw Jodie Marsh when you were about 21, 22, did you say?
It was a long time ago. It might have even been longer ago than that.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things I just always remember thinking, that's cool.
You just reminded me about that moment, because I remember that. It was all in the magazines and in the Sun newspaper. And
yeah, and she was like drinking a wee shot of whiskey before she went on stage and all that.
Yeah. So when you saw that, what attracted you to that? What can you do you know what I mean? Is it the physique? Is it the challenge of getting to that?
Yeah, it's the physique and stuff like that as well. This is going to sound so dumb. Like, I remember saying to Erin, I said, I don't want to go on stage to look pretty like I'm in a beauty pageant. I want to look like a freak.
That's cool.
Like, I want to go up there and people would be like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I did this. Like, that's a challenge to me. And I think that's why I like that bikini trained category. I want to bring that condition, that muscularity, and look. I don't want to look like, oh, I look pretty in a bikini. Here's me flipping my hair. I mean, I did do some sassy hair flips. But I want people to be like, whoa, that's impressive. To be like, I did this. I grew this. And look at it.
I was so worried that I wasn't going to be lean enough for my first show. I was the same as you. I remember I was in the toilet and I was texting my coach and I was like, do you even think I'm going to be, with 3 weeks out at this point, 3 weeks before our first show. And And I was texting him, do you even think I would never let you get on stage if I didn't think you were lean enough? And I was like, but I've got no like cross striations in my legs. I've got no veins in my legs. I've got nothing, it was very, very difficult. And between the first show and the second, within that 6 weeks, because you did a second show, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the FitX one as well. So I think I had 3 weeks between my.
Yeah, you did the same as Xander then. So he did our show in June and then the FitX in July, obviously, or end of June.
The 4th of July.
Was it? But the difference that I made was stupid, crazy. The difference within 6 weeks of continual dieting. Did we change too much? No, I think I ate more and did less cardio. So I pulled away from the Stairmaster and went onto the treadmill, and I ate. It's pathetic, but I ate a bagel thin more per day than I did for the first show prep leading up. And I finally got veins in my legs, and I'd wake up and the sun would come through the window. I just remember these little moments. You remember these little weird things, don't you? Sat at the edge of the bed, slammed down my 500 ml of water. The sun would be beaming on my thighs, and I would look at my quads, and the veins were just all the way from like my hips down to my kneecaps. I was like, this is sick. Now I'm there. This is so fucking cool. And that's what I cannot wait for next. So talking of your goals, is 2022 in your sights? Would you want to compete again?
So my plan, obviously I got invites to finals for both shows because I got second at First Timers and I got second again at FitX in bikini trained because I knew that's what I was going in for this time. So we just went ham. But because the finals were another 8, 9, 10 weeks away and my prep had already been so long from a health perspective, I was like, I need to get back into an improvement season as soon as possible. Being a female, and I'd lost my period in like the April or something, and it only just came back like this month. So from a health perspective, to get my hormones and everything back in place, I was like, realistically, there's no point in me kind of coming out of prep right back into one, because my goal isn't to be a professional dieter. I want to get bigger. I want to come back on that stage next year bigger and better. So if I was spending another 3 months dieting, that's no use to me. So my plan 2022 is to do the shows at the back end of the season, so that fingers crossed, if I get invites to finals again, I can actually just roll into them.
Be very close
in the same kind of competitive window and just do it.
Yeah, we've spoken about it a couple of times, haven't we? How how we'd love to get a group of us together. I think that it was very lonesome for me, and it is a very solo activity, sport project. It is, isn't it? Prepping for a show, and I didn't know anybody. And I'm not like, oh, really? I need people around me. But what a cool thought would it be to have a group of you or a small collective of you that are doing the same shows or within a couple of days or the same weekend, how you could all go to an Airbnb and prep together and tan together and hit like your morning shots before the show together and help each other pack stuff up. And I love that idea. And that we've spoken about that.
Really fortunate in the way that with being coached by Erin, we were in a group chat and stuff, and Mercedes, I ended up kind of chatting to her. She lives obviously way the other end of the country from me. Realized we were doing the same shows. So we're like, why don't we just meet up?
Yeah.
And we just became like such close friends because we realized we're basically the same human.
Yeah.
We're both just weirdos. And so when we were doing the FitX show together, we're like, we'll get an Airbnb together. And like we're filming each other doing our check-ins, and we were just buzzing about it. We had a cookie buffet after it, which was a great idea, but terrible idea at the same time. But it was just good to have someone else there. As much as you're doing it for you, like it was just really fun. Like after it, we could be like, let's go and eat loads of food.
Yeah.
Like, let's go and do this.
It's exactly. I do believe that it does bring a lot of like-minded people together, doesn't it? And that's how I met Xander. I met him backstage, downstairs, in the little room before you go up to jump on the stage. We met there with our legs up against the wall, just smashing back our Skittles. I was like, hi, I'm Matt. And then now we're best mates. So it's just like, it's wicked how, it's just awesome how it can bring people together. But on the other hand, it can affect quite in a negative way. Have you ever had anything that's Have you had any negative attention through this bodybuilding thing from close friends or family that have just almost like in a judgmental manner?
I've actually been really fortunate. Like I remember when I was telling my mum and dad that I want to do it, they were like, "That's so cool, that's amazing," like,
Mm,
and kind of buzzing about it. Whereas I've spoken to a lot of girls that were like, "I don't know how to tell my family, or my family have said this and said that," and
yeah,
I'm just like, "What dicks?
yeah.
What's
It is
happened?"
it is a
But I
shame
feel like
sometimes.
I have had people like say things to me and things like that, like, "Ooh, why would you want to look like that?" And I'm looking at these people that say these things like, "And you're the picture of health and happiness," like,
Yeah, I know.
and
You should
it's people
just
just
turn
don't
around
really
and
care.
go, why do you want to look like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel as well like people would say things to me like at work or whatever. When are you going to eat normal again? And I'm like, what? So
Yeah,
eating 16 KFCs a week is normal? Is like what you do?
yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? I'm like, when are you going to be like a normal person again? I was like, I've never been a normal person in my life, and so
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to be normal.
Like I would
Um,
have, it's same thing, same thing. I'd be at my my sisters or my grandma's or at home, and parents or family members would say exactly that. When are you going to eat normal? And I'm tucking into porridge, so oats. Okay, that's
yeah,
all.
like that's normal.
Oats with berries on top, right? That's all I'm eating, and I'm eating this. When are you going to eat normal? And I'm looking at them going, what's not normal about this? What's your normal then? And then I'll be eating chicken and rice, just formulated in a different way. They're eating a curry. Okay. When are you going to eat? When are you going to eat? Not, hang on, we're eating the same thing. Yours is just plastered in crap. Mine isn't. We're eating the
Exactly.
same. Yours is just smothered in shit, with it, which tastes, by the way, absolutely phenomenal. But I'm just choosing not to smother mine in shit. So that's all it is. Um, all it is an education side of it. It's a I've got this thought in the back of my head. I'm not going to allow any new thoughts or new patterns of belief in. I'm just going to stick with the same crap and just give them that all the time.
Yep. I think as well, you just get to a point where when you're so deep in prep that you are kind of zombified.
Yep.
So you don't physically have the energy to talk back to people. So you just, eh.
Yeah.
Like my aunt did say when I was living with my aunt and uncle, they were really supportive of it, but she would say it sometimes like, you're looking a bit thin, or, and I think because they genuinely care, they don't want you to like,
Yeah. Yeah.
snap in half and die.
Yeah.
Um, but she said like after my prep, she was like, thank God you're going to be eating more again. She went, you're a crabby bitch. Bitch. And I was like, was I? And she was like, yeah, but we didn't say anything because we knew you were prepping and we didn't want to make it worse. But she said, we tried to talk to you one time when you were like sitting down to eat your food and you were so snappy. And I said, well, if a dog's been sitting down to its bowl and you're trying to take its bowl away from it, it's probably going to do the same thing. I
Yeah.
was in like, hunter gatherer, probably starvation mode. So I was like, this is my food.
Yeah.
Do not distract me from
Yeah.
it.
I was exactly like that. So in the kitchen, if it was my time to cook and people around
And
me, I
someone was
want
there.
just get out of the kitchen. I'm coming. It's 10 o'clock at night. There is no time for you to. I'm eating my meals later than everyone else or earlier on purpose. So I'm in there by myself. I want to sit down at my desk and eat my meal by myself. Did you get into any weird during competition prep? Did you get into any weird habits? Like, so I still to this day, and we've spoken about this, but I still to this day use like a little spoon, like a teaspoon to eat my
Mm.
omelets. Random, I know, but it makes my omelet last forever. So I'm like, yeah, man, this seems like there's weird things that I do still. Did you ever pick anything up that you still do now?
Yeah, but I think, see the little spoon thing. So many people say that, oh, as soon as you do bodybuilding, you have to eat with a little spoon. I'm like, see, if you knew me, I've always ate with a little spoon because I'm weird about cutlery touching your teeth. I've got loads
Oh,
of
okay.
weird little quirks. You see big spoons, they're just too big for your mouth and they hit off your teeth. So I've literally always ate with teaspoons.
Huh.
But now I've got a specific spoon that's a long silver Sunday spoon. So it's got a little end like a teaspoon, but a long handle like a big spoon.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's so much better. And see when I can't find that specific spoon, like it's been washed, it's put back, I freak out. I can't
yeah,
eat my dinner.
yeah,
I've got specific bowls that I need to eat things out of.
yeah,
Like if I'm making like my cream of rice, I like it in this big glass bowl. So if that big glass bowl isn't there, I can't have it because I
yeah,
can't make it in the little bowl because it's not the same.
yeah. I'm exactly the same as you. I've got a certain fork, I've got a
Yeah.
certain spoon, I've got a certain bowl, and I've got a certain plate. And a mug actually for my tea, for my biscuit tea. You ever had the biscuit in the strawberry jam
Yeah,
one?
I've got it. I'm not a massive tea person, but I did get it because I realized I can't drink as
Yeah.
much coffee as I'd like to drink after a certain time. But I don't know, I expected it to be more biscuitier.
Mm,
It
yeah,
wasn't.
same. you can never. And now, because I can have different tastes in my gob, it doesn't necessarily taste so tea or biscuity. You know, it just tastes like
Warm
normal crap.
beverage.
But then when your taste buds are so sensitive during a diet, it is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I've got weird things that I was eating like that I've actually done again recently because I like it, but I've always been a weird food combo person. Like my mum and dad told me when I was in primary school, um, you used to go up to the canteen and you could choose what you wanted before it was like set meals. I used to always ask for a scoop of mashed potato, a scoop of tuna mayo and ketchup, and then like mix it all
yeah,
together and eat it.
yeah.
I mean, still to this day, I eat the same things.
Yeah.
But when I was on prep, I would have like, say it was like my 30 grams of cream of rice and my 6 egg whites and my square of dark chocolate. I'd make the egg whites with like cinnamon into a big pancake. And then I'd put the dark chocolate in the cream of rice. But then I would spread it onto the
Yes.
egg whites
Yeah.
and then like roll it. So it looked like little like cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
It was nothing like a cinnamon bun. It was a
Hmm.
gooey, eggy plop. But it tasted good.
I know. You could do
But
so
people don't
many.
believe me.
Yeah, you can do so many things with your food to make it. Like I would get addicted to using those flavor drops.
Mm.
I'd get so many different flavors. So and to this day, I still use them now. So in my stir fry, the Skinny Food Coconut Delight, I think it's called, little flavor drop. I'll splash that, even though it's for sweeter foods like your ice cream and your berries and your yogurt. I'll put that in my beef and my rice and my green beans, this Coconut Delight flavor drop, and it is awesome if you like coconut flavor stuff. But I'm the same as you. I like weird combos with foods. But
Yeah, I still like
when you're
chicken
on,
jam and rice cakes.
yeah, when you're on prep, you kind of, yeah, I love that. I love bagels. If you try this bagel, almond butter or peanut, I'm allergic to peanut butter, so you get bagel, nut butter, jam, and chicken, and make a
Yes,
sandwich out of that.
do this.
Oh my
And it's the
god!
coconut almond butter. You had
Oh,
that one?
I've not tried that.
The pepin nut coconut almond butter. It's the best.
Did you ever try the pip and nut blueberry? Is it blueberry muffin?
Yeah, they had that one and a pumpkin spice
Oh
one, but
my god!
I never tried them.
So incredible. It honestly had bits of raisin in the almond butter. Oh, it was so good.
Okay, we're getting still so excited about
Yeah,
these
there you
things.
go.
I love
But
it.
I believe this is a good thing, because when we go into prep, we've still got this little mindset and we haven't just fallen off the track and become a fat cloud. And I've said this. Look,
I feel like a bit of a fat cloud sometimes.
yeah, I definitely am. I'm a, how much weight are you now? If you want to share it,
Yeah.
how heavy are you compared to? Can you remember what you were for stage? What were you for
Yeah,
stage?
so obviously for like my last show, I was a bit lighter again because we knew, right, we are bikini trained.
Yeah,
Let's just go hard for this next couple of weeks and see the difference in that 3 weeks. So my lightest that I've ever been in on stage, and that day only, I was 48.5 kilos.
how heavy?
48.5. Yeah.
48 kilograms.
Bear in mind though, I am 5'1.5". So I am a small human.
So you were just so two 20-kilo plates and a bit more.
Yeah.
That's what you were.
Like there's guys that can press more than me.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
um,
Yes, isn't that crazy?
and
Wow. So
now
you
I
were a
am
150 you were 150-kilo dumbbell.
basically, yeah. Because 50s where I always kind of sat around, but we peaked perfectly for my second show. That honestly, that morning I woke up and that's the first time I'd ever seen any kind of detail in my
Yeah, it's
legs.
so good, isn't
And I
it?
was like,
Oh,
bitch, like that. Have you seen the picture? And it's me like flex my legs, like doing a check-in, and Mercedes is in the background, like
oh yeah, I think so. Get it up on your phone so people can have a look.
if I can find it. But yeah,
Um,
the lightest I was that day was 48.5. I don't even know if I was
40.
maybe still that by the time I got on stage. I might have been 49.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm gonna have to Google it because I
I am
was
63.5 now.
so
63 and a
20 so
bit.
it's 20 kilos.
Yeah, like 15.
Yeah.
I'm not at the 20 kilo mark yet. We're getting there. We're getting
Yeah.
there. I see it as a challenge. I'm like, I can do this.
182 pounds I was. So I was 13 stone. Look
I'm
at
going
you
to
there.
swipe and then you can
Oh
see
yeah.
Mercedes' face.
And again. What? What are those
He's like,
legs?
she's like, when did that happen?
Yeah. Good, isn't it? It does. No one will. Well, you'll never until you do it. You don't understand the level of accomplishment, the level of like oh God, I'm such a warrior, man. This feels fucking wicked when you are that
Mhm.
lean and you're like, I did it. It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, but now when you're taking your check-in photos, it's just a slideshow of me getting fatter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's weird though, like I say, like if you know anybody else that decided that have put 2 stone on, like in general population, like I'm still like probably a size 8 to 10 in clothes. I've still got leggings that are small, extra small. Like
Mm.
I'm not big. Like I've definitely got a lot more body fat, but like realistically, in the grand scheme of things, I'm still leaner than a lot of regular people.
Yeah.
But my brain told me, like, see the first couple of weeks post show, I was probably still very lean. I'd love to be as fat as I thought I was then.
Mm.
But I honestly, my brain went to like a bad place. I was convinced I was a big fat hippo and whatever. But I think it was just a severe case of like body dysmorphia because I was so used to
Yeah.
aiming for something as soon as my body also decided it wanted to retain water like a camel.
Mm.
So as soon as I had like my first off-plan meal or whatever, and a drink, because I hadn't drank alcohol in like 8 months, my body just said, puffy. And my
Yeah.
face was like puffy.
Yeah.
Like I was sore. Like if you touched my body, it hurt.
It stung.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
People are like,
what happens to me.
And I was honestly, it just kept happening. So then throughout the week, I'd be a bit better. Then I'd have something again at the weekend. And I was just like,
Yeah.
puffy.
Yeah.
And it was bad. And that's me only, I think now that my hormones have regulated again and things like that, that I'm way heavier now than I was, but I feel great.
Yeah.
My strength is flying up, apart from the fact that my knees have decided not to work. So I can't really train legs properly. But, that's a whole nother story.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
decided it's fuck it. I'll just become a Dorito. I'll just
Yeah.
become a big triangle and
Yeah.
I'll just do men's physique.
Just do that. Just wear some board shorts. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
I find that when I, as soon as I came out of the show, the first thing I'd notice is water retention. And for me, water retention is a biggie. I turn into a water buffalo. Like I have to wear, and I've mentioned this before, I have to wear those aeroplane socks if I drive for 2 or 3 hours because the rings around where my socks have been halfway up my calf muscle, it would just be like a drain, like almost like a moat around a castle. Like
Yeah.
it's like a ditch all the way. It's crazy. But now I'll wake up, I'm not taking any water retention pills or any diuretic-y dandelion root or anything like that. I'm not manipulating my salt or my water. Now my hormones have leveled out, or my body feels happy again. My calves and my legs are like, I'm feeling my upper thigh now, and I can feel like my muscle, like the little grainy all the way up my quad. Like it's not like holding water, which is great, but it's taken so long. Look, the last show was
Yeah,
the
I'm the
end of,
same. This is at
yeah,
what, 5, 6 months nearly.
yes, yeah,
And this
end
is
of,
me only just starting to feel a
this
bit
is
more
this is the thing.
normal.
I think a lot of people think, oh, so the diet is just the diet. When you finish the diet, your body's happy again or normal. You best believe if you drive your body down to a body fat level of almost, well, it is glorified starvation and death. We just think it's cool because we can wear sparkly things on a stage. Your body will take as long or more to get back to its normal happy state. If you dieted for 6 months harshly, you best believe it's going to take 6 months or more for your body to feel good again. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. But it's funny, and you say this to people, and people go, well, why do you do it then? I'm like,
Yeah.
because fun.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I've just Googled it. I'm 14.5 kilos heavier than when I
Yeah.
was.
I think when I checked it the other day, whatever my weight was, I was exactly 15 kilos
I
up.
think that's a nice number. Like you don't feel too like bloated and big. You feel strong in the gym and
But yeah, I think sometimes it still not gets to me. But I see like people posting their like 4 month post show and I'm 5 kilos up, and I'm like, what have you not? What, like,
yeah.
probably do a shit, and I'm 5 kilos less. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
sorry, I'm so vulgar.
I drop a couple of pounds. Did you ever, before a check-in, did you ever just sit on the toilet for ages to make sure something came out? Just
Yeah, and it
so
never would on check-in day. It never worked in the morning.
yeah.
And after you'd send your check-in, it would go, haha, ready now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you were
Yeah.
supposed to happen before I weighed myself, before I took my pictures. And it was always that day. It
Yeah.
was like it knew this is check-in day. You're going to be constipated and bloated and you're going to look shit. And then
Yeah.
your coach is going to think, oh, less food for you.
Yeah, that's it. So you're like, right, okay, it's check-in day. Please, bottom, work, because if I drop £2 here, I get a refeed. So you just sat on the toilet, hoping and praying something will come out. You're like, come on. But
It doesn't work. It doesn't
no.
like you. It's like, nope. sorry, I was talking about toilet things.
So
Do you
tell
know
us.
what? My
Go on.
body was the most functional it's ever been when I was on prep, because I had such
Mm.
regular meal timings, and all the food I was eating was food that my body liked. Like people
Yeah.
say, oh, is it post-show because you didn't have these things that your body doesn't like? I'm like, I've always had issues my whole life, but I've still ate the things because I liked them and
Yeah.
just thought, this is how you're meant to be. Always bloated all the time. You can't go to the bathroom for 5 days. Like, that's just life. But after being on prep and having such clean, whole food sources, so I'm talking about poop. I talk about poop to everyone. So
I love a poop talk. We can continue talking
but
about
every
shite.
day you would wake up, you would go to the
Yeah.
bathroom, you
Yeah.
would feel good. I wasn't bloated one bit. Like, I mean, that's the best. Well, I'm saying the best I've ever felt. I mean, for part
Yeah.
and parcel of it before it got like not scary at the end, but when my calories, like I was dieting still on like 2,500 calories at the start of my prep because we managed to push my food
Yeah.
up so high before. So when I was on that, I was still nice and full, still cutting down. My body was working the best it's ever worked because it was like, yay, you're giving us the things that we like. And then now, obviously, I get off-plan meals again. So I'm like, pizza, but my body hates gluten and it hates dairy. But I like pizza, so I eat it. And then for about 3 days, I'm like, I need help.
Yeah. Do you think it's a couple of things though? So it's the amount of cardio you were doing. So your body was moving, digestive system was moving. The amount of H2O that you're slugging away helps you. I'm just trying to think of things that people are listening going, oh yeah, I find that my bowel movements or my toilet activity stops or is hindered or is quite slow. So what things can I do? Well, plenty of cardiovascular work because you're going to get your body moving, blood flow, etc. Plenty of hydration. When you're on prep, we can't fucking eat. So the only thing we can do is we just
drink all the water, pee all the time.
We chug all the time. So move, drink lots, and frequent meals, I would say. And our meals are usually quite small. Yes, we would try and volumize them by doing funky, weird things like mixing it really quick or trying to, you know what I mean, use xylem gum. Do you ever do that to try and get it nice?
I did, but that xanthan gum, it didn't like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me bloated and sore. I had some sort of weird reaction with it.
So those are the sort of things that it's a frequently small meals, consistently, plenty of movement and plenty of water, and then you'll be pooping like a trooper.
Yeah, and you're not filling your body with like over processed junk and like you're having actual like lean protein sources, like loads of veg, like everything is good. It's not the things that your body doesn't actually like to digest. Like it's actually good foods. Exactly. And I kept saying I need to get more on the ball in this like off season. But then obviously when you get an off plan meal, you go ham.
Too right.
Still do.
Too right. I'm going to ask you a nerdy question because I just fancy doing it. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Right, we're on a desert island. You've got 3 objects you can take to a desert island. You aren't allowed to take a boat. Okay, so the boat is no option, so you can get off the desert island. See if you can do better than one of the guests that I had on here, because she was terrible, honestly. Hey?
I'm rubbish at these questions. But...
Well, 3 objects. Go for it.
The desert island doesn't have plugs, I'm guessing.
No plug at all.
Well, could you bring, what about like a magical little generator? Could that be like one of my items that just generates electricity?
Does that
like
exist?
A wee dynamo one?
Does that exist in the world right now?
Probably.
Then you can take you can take one.
And then like my Nespresso machine to plug in because
you are ridiculous. Okay.
Need some sort of caffeine.
So how are you gonna? And then you've got to take a cup. So would that be your third option?
Yeah. You just.
Yeah, you could just add, or get a leaf.
No, this is bad.
You could get like a good irrigation system. Here we go. Listen, here we go. So you could connect lots of leaves and bamboo shoots, and you could just lie there and go beep, turn it on with your big toe, and then you just lie there like that
and get caffeinated
and just get loads of coffee just falling into your goal.
I can't function without coffee, and that sounds so bad. I feel like I'm like a caffeine addict. But there's worse things to be addicted to.
Exactly.
So I need some form of coffee, right? The island needs to have some sort of coffee. And then like big comfy beanbag.
Hang on. You're on a desert island. You need to survive. You've picked a
I'm just going
generator.
to die happy. I'm going to have loads of caffeine and I'm going to get a nice tan. And then, like, I'm probably going to be deserted there anyway. So I'm just going to die comfy.
You're going to be stimmed out your brain because you're drinking so much coffee. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
you got the shakes. You're tanned like anything. And what was your last option?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't survive on a desert island anyway. So I may as well just get things to make my last few days comfortable.
How do you think you would survive? Genuinely think about it. Because I think about these things because I'm weird. Let's say if
I'm
you
not a
woke
handy person. Like, I can't like work things out. Like, if someone was like, oh, you could do this and cut trees down and like build a house, my brain is like, it sees a tree, it's a tree. Like, I can't,
let's
break
say
it
if you
down.
went to Thailand with your boyfriend or something, and you went to one little island and you were stranded on that island, you don't know how to get off of it. No one's going to come and save you, whatever it might be. Do you think you could survive for quite a while?
Probably not. Like, maybe
I,
that survival instinct would kick in, but
I genuinely think I'd be pretty good. Because have you ever watched like a movie called like I Am Legend or with Will
mm,
Smith? You know, like that post. I love those movies, like post-apocalyptic.
post-apocalyptic,
I
yeah.
love them. Like, have you ever watched Book of Eli with Denzel
Mm-mm.
Washington? Oh, fantastic film. You have to see that. Just like I love like the thought of waking up one day, not because I don't like humans, I don't like many, but anyway, say if I woke up one day and no one was here, what would you do?
I've thought about these things. Like, I don't think I could survive on a desert island, but I've always used to like, even when I was at uni, like a very long time ago, we used to have conversations every day, me and this girl Mary Kate, about if it was a zombie apocalypse, how we would survive and like where we would go and how we would get to the different places. I mean, we had this planned in detail. Like, we were going to be in IKEA and Asda, and like the River
Yes.
Clyde runs down that way, so we'd have a boat that we could jump onto the river and we get into these places, and how
Yeah.
we would barricade the doors from the
Mm-hmm.
zombies, and like,
Yeah.
and then we'd always say like, what if it was the fast kind of zombies? What would we do then?
Yeah. Yeah. I always
I
have
know
these
I could
conversations.
survive in that maybe, until a point where I'd just be like, zombify me, because that seems a bit more fun
I
than
think what
trying
I
to
would
hide
do
all
in
the time.
in a zombie apocalypse, what I would do is I would have a route to a city that I can go and collect weapons and tins of beans and stuff. But I would live in the countryside because you are situated bang on perfect place. You're in Scotland. You could just go up into the Highlands, get a little cottage, barricade your little area off. And you could just snipe them, couldn't you?
I mean, the Highlands is pretty far away from where I am, but I'm
I
sure I could
really,
figure
you
it
wouldn't
out.
want to live. You wouldn't want to live in a city, not with the zombies,
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
unless it's like Walking Dead zombies where they're incredibly slow. You could just run away from those babies, easy.
But not nowadays where you get all the fast zombies.
I
That's just
know
too much. They're scary.
you're fucked
I'm saying
really.
this like it's real.
You are honestly, if they're chasing after you, I would try my very best, but I suffer with asthma. I do a couple sprints, I'm dead.
You know what's weird? Like, see, when the whole C word situation happened and everybody was in like lockdown and stuff, that's what I kept thinking. I was like, this is actually a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
This is what's going down. And most people obviously weren't leaving the house and stuff, but I'd got that job in the factory and obviously weren't allowed to drive unless you were going to work. So I literally had this little permit. But I was like the only person on these motorways that are normally so busy, maybe three or four other cars, and there'd be the big signs that normally say the speed limit, but they're saying COVID, stay at home. And I'm like, this is like I'm in a zombie
yeah,
game.
yeah,
And then when it started saying things like level 3, and I was like, this is
yeah,
like Hunger Games or something. They went to the different districts.
yeah,
That's what I felt like was happening. You
yeah,
better sign your move going into level 2. What's going to happen
yeah.
there?
Like when I was in Sainsbury's in the supermarket and I was buying my food, some things were like, what was on the tannoy, like on the in the speakers, the little lady
Mm.
that talks, she would say some stuff like, just to make us all, shop alone, help everyone. And it's like, these are the things you hear on like movies. It's like, this sounds weird.
Mhm.
If you could pick Disney, right? You're a Disney fan.
Yes.
Who could you relate to? Disney princess, or that was a bit sexist. Let's go anyone. Okay. Any Disney character, who do you relate to the most?
Stitch.
I love that. That's
Just a weird
good.
little alien, like.
Or however he
Yeah.
talks.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just like a wee tornado everywhere I go.
I
Just
like
make
that.
disasters. And I'm a bit weird.
I
Yeah.
didn't think you'd pick Stitch. Oh, I loved Lilo and Stitch. That was so
Mm.
good. Wasn't it? Did you ever just watch a movie or did you watch a series when it was like when
I
you were a
did.
kid?
I think I watched the series a bit when I was younger, but
Mm.
yeah.
That was wicked. Right, I've had you on here for way too long. You are a busy, busy lady with all your jobs and you've moved in.
Yeah.
You've got loads of boxes to unpack. Before we go, and I like to do this with everybody, if you could throw a quote, a mantra that you live by, just a piece of advice out into the world, what would it be?
I actually have something for once. I thought my brain was going to go blank there,
This
but
is good.
one thing I always say is I'd rather regret doing something than not doing it at all. Because you could
Mm,
say, what if I did that? What if I did this? Do it. If it doesn't work out right, then fine, at least you tried.
I
So I'd
like
rather
that.
regret a decision that I made than ever not trying.
So you would rather regret than go, what if?
Yep.
I like that. I like
Yep.
that. Very, very good. Hey, everybody, thank you very much for listening to another episode of When Nerds Do Fitness. Thank you very much, Jordyn, for coming on. Did you enjoy it? Was that your first podcast? Have you ever done a podcast?
Yeah. I've never podcasted before.
Haven't you? This is good. Were you nervous before you came on? Please say you weren't.
Well, not really. I like talking, but I never really make any sense. But most of this probably didn't, so it was fine.
Yeah, I don't make sense half the time anyway, but people somehow like listening to me. Weird. I think it's because they're a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Thank you very much, everybody. You will see us and listen to us in another episode, and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Ta-ra. Bye.